I know this sounds petty, and yeah, it likely is, but both of my daughters, 13-year-old and 16 years old, as well as myself, are beyond fed up with the bathroom sharing situation. My stepson, who is 12 years old, his biological mom isn't involved, and he sees me as mom, and I see him as my son. No special or different treatment, just adding step for context, as my biological son, who is the exact same age, is completely potty trained, refuses to lift the lid on the toilet, and in turn gets urine splatter all over the seat. Every single time he goes. His father and I have told him relentlessly to please either lift the lid or, at a minimum, wipe the seat once you're done. Does he? No. He doesn't even flush. I honestly think he does it to get attention at this rate or because he knows it annoys his sisters. He, of course, denies it to no end's point, but it happens every time he uses the bathroom. When he's away for a few days, sleeping over at his grandmother's or a friend's, we have no issues. Here's where I may be the jerk. About a year ago, my daughter had a friend stay overnight, and for whatever ungodly reason, she left menstrual blood and shit in the toilet without flushing. Parents, potty train your children. My stepson was the one to find it, and it absolutely freaking repulsed him. Like world-ending PTSD trauma-inducing torture that he'd never recover from was and still is his reaction. My daughters are clean and don't leave any menstrual products out, so his precious eyes have since been spared. My daughter ran to the bathroom, and after sitting in his urine for like the 1000th time, she snapped. She didn't say anything, but got the recently bought Halloween fake blood and had a field day with it, leaving it all over the seat, inside the toilet, poured it onto clean pads, and stuck them in random places. I'm, at this rate, not going to tell her she can't. We are all sick of sitting in, cleaning up, and flushing his pee. He's a very smart child with no learning disabilities, so he's just lazy about it or being a pest to the girls. But I'm gonna allow her to one-up him. And maybe, just maybe, he'll come to the conclusion that, hey, I don't like this, and they probably don't like what I'm doing. Something's gotta give. Update. So he ran across the monstrosity when he arrived home today, mumbled about some nasty butt girls, like, yeah, how's it feel, lol, stomped off to the great outdoors to pee, and shut himself in his room. Sister isn't giving in, knowing he will eventually have to poop. Stand by for more. Update. So his dad, believing son tells no lies, they all do, called his mother, Nana, to ask her if she was experiencing the same problem when he was with her. She said yes, it's definitely an issue and always has been. How he never noticed or she never seemed to find the need to address it prior to me coming into the picture is beyond me. I told him that every single time it happens from here on out, he will be cleaning the entire bathroom until he figures out how to use the toilet properly. Going over all this bathroom nonsense, this is completely unrelated, but wanted an opinion. Same son has another bathroom habit that drives me insane. He has a habit of pouring out the entire contents of any bottle, like bubble bath, shampoos, liquid soap, etc., when he showers. He's like the little bathroom extremist. We have shower bags, where we have to bring our things in and out of the bathroom in order to have it not poured out. He has his own shower supplies and does not pour them out, so his are always there, of course. Help. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, not the idiot. He's 12, a little bit of fake blood isn't harmful. Most 12-year-olds are playing crazy violent video games, so I agree with one of the comments about putting your son on bathroom cleaning duty. Maybe that'll help. Best of luck. Comment 2. My son is 12 and it's becoming a serious problem in our house as well. He was better when he was a toddler than he is now. I don't get it and it drives me insane. We've just started his new chore of cleaning the bathroom. Comment 3. He already has a negative view of women. He thinks Thry are both his slaves and need to sit on his pee. I vote for him washing the bathroom permanently. Now, for the update. After some serious family discussions and counseling, we've made substantial progress with my stepson's bathroom habits. It's been a challenging journey, but I'm thrilled to share a positive update. The turning point came when I invited my stepson to join me in a DIY project to refurbish the bathroom. Together, we painted the walls, installed new fixtures, and even put up some art he picked out. Throughout the process, we talked, not just about the bathroom, but about everything. It was during these conversations that he opened up about feeling like he didn't quite fit into our blended family. His actions, it turned out, were indeed a cry for attention, a way to express his frustrations and fears. Recognizing this, we've worked on strengthening our bond and making him feel more secure in his place at home. We've also established a family meeting once a week where everyone can air out their feelings and issues constructively. As for the bathroom, my stepson has taken pride in the space he helped create. He's now the first to call out anyone who leaves a mess and has become astonishingly conscientious about keeping it clean. The habit of pouring out bathroom products stopped once he realized the cost and effort involved in restocking them, which he learned by taking on some extra chores to cover the expense. The siblings have called a truce as well. They've seen how their actions affect one another and have taken steps to support each other. There's a newfound respect between them, which has been heartwarming to witness. We're not a perfect family, and there are still occasional hiccups. But these days, there's more laughter than frustration echoing from the bathroom. It's been a journey we've all learned from, and I'm proud of the strides we've made together. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. You're the idiot for not addressing this sooner. It sounds like your stepson was clearly struggling and it took a bathroom project for you to notice? Emotional support should have been there from the jump, not just when it affects you directly. Glad it's better now, but you were slow on the uptake. Comment 2. Absolutely not the idiot. What a wonderful way to bond and make your stepson feel involved. It's not easy blending families, and finding a unique way to connect can make a world of difference. You've turned a challenging situation into a positive one, and that's commendable. Keep up the good work. Comment 3. Not the idiot. And I gotta say, I love your approach. It's one thing to have a sit-down talk, but involving him in a hands-on project that benefits everyone, genius. It's no wonder he feels more responsible and included. Sounds like you've hammered down a solid foundation for the family dynamic. Now, for the next story. My 42-year-old female, husband, 37-year-old male, and I were invited to his sister's house for Thanksgiving. I love to cook and entertain, so I volunteered to make a lot of dishes. Other people brought food as well. I cooked for 2 straight days, and today, on the morning of Thanksgiving, I suggested to my husband that he should gather up all the men to clean the kitchen after the shared meal, since literally only the women were the ones who cooked and prepared everything. Divide and conquer, if you will. He agreed to do so. We had a great meal. After dinner, everyone sat around chatting with coffee and having a good time. At some point, the men all transitioned to the living room to watch football, while the women began helping my sister-in-law clean her kitchen. The kitchen connects to the living room, so it was evident what was going on. On the way home, I asked my husband what happened and why he didn't pitch in to help with the cleanup. He said, "I have a victim complex, and I'm choosing to be in a bad mood." I told him I'm not in a bad mood. I am just bringing up what was previously discussed and agreed upon, and asked him if he thought it was fair. He then proceeded to tell me how there are certain jobs he has to do because he has testicles. I said that's not the point here. I am not talking about prior situations or arguments, just this evening in particular. Am I the jerk for thinking that all the people, in this case, all the men of the family who contributed nothing to the meal, should have a hand in cleaning it up afterwards? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot and I would die on this hill. I would never offer to help host a party that benefits him again. Anecdotally, my husband made everything for Thanksgiving. BC, he loves to cook, and he refused any offers of help. So I put all the leftovers away and cleaned up everything. It's only fair. Comment 2. I assume he was scared to tell the men they needed to clean up because they are also sexist, so he conformed. Then didn't want to admit to you that he was a scaredy cat and acted even more like a douche. Comment 3. Not the idiot. If I acted like this, my wife would tell me to get takeout and eat by myself next year. Now, for the update. After the dinner incident, I was pretty steamed and needed to cool off. I didn't expect my little suggestion would lead to such a family uproar, but here we are. First off, my husband came to apologize the next morning, said he had been a total jerk and just got swept up in the football and family. He actually took me out for breakfast as a peace offering, which was sweet. But it turns out the drama was just getting started. My sister-in-law, bless her heart, had been seething about the kitchen chaos but didn't want to say anything during dinner. She ended up posting a rant on Facebook about gender roles and equality in household chores, and that thing went viral in our small town. Suddenly, we had friends, neighbors, and even my mother-in-law weighing in with comments and messages. It turned into a full-blown town debate. Now, get this. The local women's group saw her post and decided to organize a clean-in at her house the following Saturday. Literally, a group of women came over to my sister-in-law's place and cleaned the entire house from top to bottom while discussing women's rights and equality. They even got a local news station to cover it. My husband, feeling the heat from all the attention, gathered all the husbands, and they planned a surprise thank you dinner for all the women. It was actually quite sweet. They cooked, served, and yes, cleaned up after themselves. It was like a peace treaty dinner. The kicker? My mother-in-law, who had always been a stickler for tradition, was so moved by the community's response that she's now advocating for rotating holiday roles in the family. She announced that next year, the men are officially in charge of the Thanksgiving meal at her house. But wait, there's more. Inspired by all of this, one of the local restaurants is now planning a charity event to support equality in the community, where the town's men will cook and serve for a night, with all proceeds going to a women's charity. Who knew my simple suggestion would stir up such a storm and lead to what I'm calling the Thanksgiving revolution in our little town? Real change, folks, started from a single dinner. So, there it is, my wild update. Now I'm curious to see what Christmas will bring. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Your Thanksgiving fiasco turned into a community-wide discussion on gender roles. That's impressive. It's not your fault the sister-in-law decided to air dirty laundry on Facebook, but it's fantastic to see it lead to positive action. Plus, with mother-in-law on board for rotating holiday roles, it sounds like future gatherings will be fairer. And hey, a charity event too? Sounds like your chaotic dinner sparked some much-needed change. Comment 2. You're the idiot. It seems like you're relishing the drama a bit too much. Your sister-in-law's rant was a cry for help, and rather than address it privately, the whole town got involved. Turning a family issue into public spectacle isn't the best way to resolve things. Sure, the clean-in and the thank you dinner are nice, but maybe it's time to focus on healing familial relationships instead of waiting for the next public event. Comment 3. Not the idiot at all. Honestly, your sister-in-law's public rant could have been a disaster, but it's turned into an incredible movement for equality in your community. You should be proud that a personal problem has led to such awareness and action. The clean-in and the advocacy for shared responsibilities are huge steps forward. Plus, the thank you dinner is a sweet gesture. Can't wait to hear what Christmas brings. Now, for the next story. My partner and I have been together for over 4 years, and I recently gave birth to our daughter. We had kept the pregnancy to ourselves until our baby was born, happy and healthy, due to worries about complications as I faced a high-risk pregnancy. We told our families after she was born. While my family was ecstatic, his was questioning if we hid it for ulterior reasons. They've always heavily disliked me and believe I'm just with their son for money. Yesterday, we took her to meet her grandparents from his side, and after some polite conversation, they dropped the bomb that they would be doing a paternity test that he agreed to. To not make myself look suspicious, I agreed to it, but afterward made it clear to my partner that I felt incredibly disrespected. Cue an argument where he told me it wasn't a big deal if it was his, and that the test was requested by them to ease their uncertainty. Fast forward to today, I was having lunch with my mother and told her about the incident, which left her pissed off and calling my partner a couple of names for insinuating I could have cheated. My mother ended up telling my grandparents who, in a rage, told him they would no longer accept him in their house for disrespecting me in such a way when the child is practically his twin. We had another argument about it, and he screamed, saying I ruined his image by telling them. Am I the idiot? Edit. Some of you are concerned about hiding my pregnancy part, so to clarify. My partner and I live a couple of hours away from our families since we live by his university and typically only see each other on holidays and special events. On top of that, I have a very petite figure and had a rather small bump up until I gave birth, so I was hardly showing as is, which made hiding it a lot easier. Hiding it was a personal choice as I faced horrible anxiety due to constant bleeds throughout my pregnancy, which made me fear the worst. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. He didn't care how you felt when he asked you for the paternity test, but now he expects you to care about his feelings? That road goes both ways. Comment 2. Not the idiot. You should have the same rules for both sets of parents. Sounds like your partner's parents got preferential treatment. Comment 3. His family knew about it and encouraged it. Why shouldn't your family know what he was asking of you? Now, for the update. It's been a month since the paternity test, and things have only spiraled further. After the results confirmed what I already knew, that my partner was the father, his family did a complete turnaround, suddenly inundating us with apologies and requests to meet the baby. It was too much, too fast, and somehow felt even more insulting, as if their earlier doubt could be swept away with a simple, "Oops, our bad." Meanwhile, my own family has been fractured by the incident. My partner refused to apologize for his reaction, adamant that my breach of trust in sharing our private matters was unforgivable. This stubbornness only fueled the fire between him and my grandparents. Eventually, my mother, unable to bear the tension, suffered a stress-induced heart attack. She survived, but the doctors say it was a close call, and her recovery has been a slow, painful process. I've been splitting my time between caring for her and our newborn, feeling like I'm drowning in a sea of responsibility and regret. The strain on our relationship has been tremendous. My partner and I barely speak now, except to argue about what should have stayed private and whose fault is whose. These disputes often end with him storming out, leaving me alone with our crying baby and a heart so heavy it feels like it's made of lead. I look at our child and see a future full of love and potential. But when I look at my partner, all I see are the cracks in our foundation that seem too wide to bridge. In this whirlwind of hurt and anger, I've found myself questioning everything, my decisions, my relationship, and whether sharing our truth was worth the fallout. The joy of our child's birth has been overshadowed by a cloud of misery that I can't seem to escape. I'm left wondering if there's a path to healing or if the damage done is simply too deep to mend. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. The family's sudden change of heart after the paternity test results seem opportunistic and not genuine. You have every right to feel insulted, and it's understandable that you'd question their motives. Your partner should have stood by you and the baby from the start, not leave you both to deal with their family's skepticism and lack of support alone. Comment 2. You're the idiot. Communication is key in any relationship, and it seems like both of you have failed to maintain that. Yes, the family's reaction was hurtful, but holding on to that grudge is only going to harm your child in the long run. It's time to find it within yourself to forgive, or at least to coexist for the sake of your baby's familial relationships. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Your partner's refusal to apologize to your family, especially after the stress contributed to your mother's heart attack, is a massive red flag. Your feelings of regret are valid, and it sounds like you're shouldering more than your fair share of responsibility. It's not just about the initial doubt, it's about the lack of support and empathy from your partner throughout this ordeal. Now, for the next story. Okay, so I, 47-year-old female, found out earlier today that my 19-year-old daughter, let's call her Jane, and my 53-year-old husband, John, have been sleeping together since her 18th birthday. She is pregnant, but not by him. The whole situation is even worse since she's in a long-term relationship with her boyfriend of 4 years. It was around 2 a.m. when I found out that Jane and John had been sleeping together when I went through his phone. I had seen explicit text messages and photos dating back to over a year ago. As soon as I saw those, I woke my husband up and started screaming. He was denying everything, so I went into my daughter's room and woke her up. She admitted everything about how they've been in a romantic relationship since she was 18. I couldn't talk. I didn't know what to do. I stood there for about 2 minutes before I spoke a word. The only thing I said was, "Both of you pack your bags and get out. If you're not out in 30 minutes, I'm calling the cops," and watched as they packed their things and left. The next morning after they left, I went to the store and got what I needed to change the locks. Both of them have tried coming back, and I won't answer the door. I'm getting texts from my husband's family, and they're calling me a whole bunch of names and saying I'm wrong for kicking them out with nowhere to go. Everyone is saying how I should at least let my daughter back in the house until she can live on her own because she's pregnant. Should I let her back? Am I the idiot? Am I the jerk for kicking her out? Edit. He is her stepfather and has only known her since she was 17. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. What on earth did they think would happen? Not the idiot. Awful people. Their families can host them if they can bear to look at them. Sorry this is happening to you, OP. Comment 2. I mean, who the frick cares who the AH is? You've got a freaking mess. How the frick does this happen in real life? Comment 3. Definitely not a jerk. If she needs a place to stay, then stepdad can support her. Now, for the update. My husband tried to reach out, leaving voicemails filled with apologies and pleas for forgiveness. I couldn't bring myself to listen to more than a few seconds before the hurt and anger forced me to delete them. My daughter, on the other hand, has been silent. The only news of her comes through the grapevine of family members who, despite everything, maintain contact with her. She's been staying with a friend and apparently has no intention of reaching out or seeking reconciliation. It tears at me, wondering how she is, how my grandchild is, but the pain of her betrayal is still too raw, the wound too fresh. In the midst of this personal turmoil, I received a phone call that brought me to my knees. My mother, my rock throughout this whole ordeal, suffered a stroke. I rushed to the hospital, praying I wasn't too late. She's stable now, but the doctors say her recovery will be a long road. It's strange how life piles on, one heartache on top of another, without giving you a chance to breathe. As if the emotional toll wasn't enough, the financial strain has started to show. My husband was the main breadwinner, and without his income, I'm struggling to keep up with the mortgage and bills. I've started looking for a second job, something I never thought I'd have to do at this stage of my life. In the quiet moments, when the chaos of the day subsides, I'm left with a haunting question. Did I make the right choice? I find no solace in the answers that dance around my head. Some nights, I lie awake, staring at the ceiling, the silence of the house echoing the emptiness in my heart. I don't know what the future holds, or if the gaping chasm in my family will ever close. I just know I'm doing the best I can to survive the days, one at a time. Now for the comments. Comment 1. You're the idiot for deleting your husband's apologies. Communication is key, even when you're hurt. Ignoring problems doesn't make them go away. It's tough, but facing these issues head-on could help heal your family. Your daughter's distancing and your mom's health won't benefit from added silence and resentment. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Those apologies mean nothing if they're not backed by real change. Your priority is to stay afloat for your daughter and your mom. You're showing strength in the face of betrayal, and if deleting those messages helps you move forward, then so be it. Nobody gets to tell you how to handle your pain. Comment 3. Not the idiot at all. You're juggling a job, a health crisis with your mom, and a daughter who's pulled away. You don't need the extra burden of insincere apologies. Taking it day by day is more than anyone could ask of you. Delete away and focus on what's truly important, your well-being and your family's needs. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.